Hello, good
Hey there.
afternoon.
How are you?
Megan Kelly with EMC. Nice to meet
Bill,
you.
Franklin Savings. Nice to meet you as well.
Thank you for taking the time letting Jenny set up the introductory meeting. I know being busy, it can be hard squeezing in a meeting.
Absolutely,
So
no
I want to
problem.
thank you for that. So basically, me and Jenny met. We were up in Maine last week. We had the luxury of taking some time off from a client. We went skiing, and
Nice.
she introduced me about Franklin Savings and a little bit about it. But just before we get started, I want to verify that we have 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes is good.
Okay, that should be a perfect amount of time to get what I need to get to today.
Awesome.
So basically, to stay on track, I set an agenda. First, I want to talk about a little bit about what we are, understand your current situation, and possibly how we could bring some value to Franklin Savings.
Okay.
So are you familiar with EMC?
I'm a little familiar with EMC. Yeah, I'm from the area, and our office is only about 20 minutes away from headquarters. So
Right.
I'm very familiar with EMC. That's always why I've been pretty hesitant to have you guys come in. Ginny said we should, so I trust her. But I know EMC to be a really big company. I don't really know if there's anything you guys can do to help us. I mean, we only have 25 people at our family-owned business.
Definitely. That's
But,
a big concern that we have with most people. We're actually expanding our market to work with smaller and medium businesses, and we have products that are particularly for smaller and medium businesses. But
Okay.
just to give you a little background on who we are, we're the leading provider in IT storage hardware solutions. We promote data backup and recovery, and we're trying to accelerate the cloud computing.
Okay.
So basically, with that said, what does your decision process look like on buying these products? Is there anybody who could benefit from being here today?
For today, just me would be great. I do a lot of the introductory conversations and the research of different products. Alex is my boss. He's the director of operations, and he's a huge influencer for all of the decisions. And then ultimately, George and Betty, who own the company, they make all the decisions. They're very involved.
Okay. Thank you. So basically, back to what Jenny said, she knows a little bit more about EMC, and she gave me a little background on Franklin and how we could help you. So she said that you were adding a new location, is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, we're expanding to Hopkinton, which is exciting.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you. It's a little stressful, but it's exciting, right?
Yeah.
It's all good.
It must be a very rewarding feeling,
Yeah.
from what I understand. So basically, my goal today is to understand how your IT department accommodates that growth and what you guys have been doing in the past. So if I just ask a few questions, would you mind?
Sure.
Okay, so the first question, I just basically want to understand, what does your hardware setup look like right now?
Right now we're using direct attached storage, something that we've always been using. Pretty traditional way of doing things, but it's something that we're comfortable with. We have a small team, there's only 3 of us. So we're all very comfortable with managing that infrastructure and the hardware, how to deploy new servers when we need to. So that's really important to us. We're all really strapped for time, so making sure that it's easy to use is really important. But direct attached storage is what we're using today.
Okay, definitely. And you said that was something that you've been using since the company started?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay. Basically, another question. How are you maintaining this growth? How do you go about buying new products, and how does the management look like?
So we just buy new servers when we need them, when we need more space. If we're at a growth to the point where we're running out of capacity, we just buy another server. It's pretty simple. I mean, they don't really say no to us on that. Servers aren't too expensive individually, so George and Betty, it's important to them that we save money where we can, but they understand that we need to effectively be able to accommodate for growth. So.
Okay. And when you're buying these new storage units, do you see an increase of maintenance costs as well?
Sure. There's definitely additional costs that come along with that. We have to maintain it to make sure that that we're supported if we should experience a failure or something like that.
Right, definitely. And do you anticipate further growth with your second location?
Definitely, yeah. More clients, which means more information and more demand in our system. So we're definitely expecting some more growth. Absolutely.
Okay. And with that, what have been your major setbacks and challenges with data growth?
I would say that right now, we're in a good place right now, but that's without taking the expansion into consideration. We don't really have a roadmap as to how we're going to accommodate for the additional growth. We don't know if our current systems are going to be able to appropriately, handle that and be able to support that. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We need to establish a roadmap. We need to figure out what we're going to do. So that's kind of why we agreed to do a little bit of research and come up with some different solutions to be able to do that.
Definitely having a future plan is definitely important.
Very important for
when
us.
you're growing. And how has this impacted federal savings, the growth?
How is what impacted? I'm sorry.
Like the challenges with the growth, how has it impacted?
I mean, it's
not
just,
having a plan?
yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. It's just not having a plan. We're kind of unsure as to what we're going to do. So that's a concern for us. It's something we really need to get established, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We can't really move forward without a plan. So that's really where my focus has been.
Okay, and what exactly are the files that you have, the type of data that you store?
It's a mix of different things. You know, we have a lot of client information. You know, we have some databases that support that. You know, we support an online platform, a mobile platform for our users, definitely. So it's a mix of a lot of different kinds of information. You know, we have a lot of file information, a lot of application data.
Right, so it's definitely important information that you want to protect. Have you experienced any loss of data over time?
We haven't actually ever lost data, but you know, we have experienced some outages. We have a secondary copy of our information, which is, you know, kind of kept us afloat, but we have experienced outages here and there. It happens, right? Hardware fails. Right. So fortunately, it hasn't been anything really detrimental to the business, but reliability of a system is very important.
Right, definitely. And in terms of long-term planning, how long do you see, how long is it going to take to open up the second location?
I would say probably, you know, just a few more months for us, maybe 6 more months, and then we'll be, you know, up and running at full speed over there, full capacity. So it's coming up pretty quick.
Right, and how much time have you spent overtime managing the new location?
Not a ton, because we don't really have, we're going to be supporting the new location from Franklin for now. So we don't have necessarily an invested IT department there. We're supporting it all in-house here right now. So, but we have definitely started to see growth already as a result of, you know, just getting that business, that branch up and running.
So having it back at Franklin, are you spending extra time over at Franklin? Are employees seeing overtime over at?
Oh yeah, we definitely spend overtime there. You know, I spend a lot of extra hours at night and sometimes on the weekends, unfortunately. We're all really strapped for time. We're hoping for more headcount, but I don't know if it's coming. So, you know, definitely freeing up some of our time is important. That's something that a new solution would definitely be able to do for us.
Definitely, free time is working hard, definitely you want that free time.
Exactly.
Okay, so basically from what I understand today, you guys have been very successful. You, at some costs, you say that there has been outages. You do have increased maintenance costs as you grow, and you are spending extra time, you know, managing this growth. Mm-hmm. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so basically, also you're comfortable with your current situation because that's what you've done since you started. What EMC wants to do basically is offer that time and money back through the products that we have for our small and medium business market. Okay. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I basically just want to give you a brief introduction on a solution that could help you, help cut costs, lessen your time spent, and increase your security.
Sure.
So basically what it is, it's the VNXE. It's made for an IT generalist. It's a unified storage unit, and it's ideal for small and medium businesses. And I want to emphasize small and medium businesses, like you said before, concern having a large company, how we could help you. This is particularly made for the small and medium business market. And also it consolidates storage, so it makes transferring your information easier and whatnot. So basically this is going to shield your company from data loss, and we want to decrease your total cost of ownership. Is that something that would interest you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, if it's going to help us to save money and hopefully get our time back and support us in our expansion, it would be something that it probably sounds interesting. But like I said, ultimately I don't have any decision-making power, so you'd have to talk further with, you know, with Alex, my boss. Betty and George make all the final calls, but he's a huge influence, and he would have to probably take the next step. So if you want to reach out to Alex, that would probably be the best next step.
Okay, perfect. What I learned today, I'm confident that EMC can help you. So I would like to move forward and set up a second meeting. I'm going to be here around next week, around 2 to 5, with my IT team. And what we can basically do is come in, set up a demo. It would be important to have Alex, Betty, and George there to ask any questions, product details, how it could help further. So how about Wednesday at 2? Would that help?
Yeah, we can set it up tentatively, and I'll touch
Time's
base with
up.
Alex and see if he's available.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Great.